Was it harder to maintain that level of success after having such a big first single? This is how we do it. And how did you maintain your string of successful songs after that?
Well, there's never been. It doesn't matter how big a record gets. Everybody always remembers your first. Normally you remember your first, and so that's if it was good, especially, or if it was bad, you remember that too. But that's what happened with "This Is How We Do It." Was people looked at me. So "This Is How We Do It" comes and goes, number one for 6 or 7 weeks, and then goes pop. Huge record, and people are like, "Oh, he's a one-hit wonder. He's a one-hit wonder. He'll never have, any other records." Some for the Honeys came out. It only reached like number 14 on the charts because people were still playing "This Is How We Do It."
Got it.
It was a hard record to follow. Platinum album, gold single with something for the Honeys, but that wasn't, that didn't cut it. So then the Nutty Professor soundtrack came out. That sold like 1 million copies or something. My single from that, I Like, with Slick Rick, sells, goes gold, reaches the top 10, but people would say, yeah, but it's no This Is How We Do It. Okay. So Let's Ride comes out. Number one record, goes to number one, pop and R&B, stays up there like a couple of weeks, sells 1 million copies. Album, it sells 1 million copies. Oh yeah, but it's still not as big as This Is How We Do It. So every record that I've ever done, even if it sold 1 million copies or went gold or went platinum or went to number one on the chart, it's still not as big in people's minds as This Is How We Do It. I've done records for other people that have sold more and been at number one, like the record Incomplete by Cisco.
Right, okay.
I wrote that song with Shep Crawford. And that's a song. It's a multi-million seller, number one on the charts, but it's still in people's minds, it's no This Is How We Do It. I'm still a one-hit wonder. So I've got like 7 number one records, that people still think, some people think, oh, he's just that guy with the one hit. And it's like, I think when you say one hit, I want to know which number one hit are you actually talking about? Because there was a couple.
I think we're talking about Let's Ride. That's what.
Let's Ride.
You still see residuals from This Is How We Do It, clearly.
It's called mailbox money.
Mailbox
Paul.
money.
Mailbox money.
Mailbox money. Mailbox money is when you are quarantined, you can't go anywhere, you can't perform, you can't do anything, and you still get a check on Monday from This Is How We Do It from 20 years ago. That's mailbox money, baby. It's what we live for.
And just to be clear, you don't dislike being judged for This Is How We Do It because it still is a very valuable commodity and property, right?
Oh yeah, it's this is how we do it. Pays for college tuitions. It allows me to give extravagantly to my church or to different charities and stuff. It allows me to travel the world, just because of, especially outside of the U.S., man, other countries, they really appreciate 90s and classic R&B music. And so I could travel the world if you could still travel the world today, but I could travel the world just on This Is How We Do It, a Montell Jordan, review or whatever. I mean, I don't, but you can, because in France, they love that record, all over Brazil, Spain, it's a universal record. So I technically could. I was planning in March. I was supposed to go on tour with Keith Sweat, European tour, O2 Arena. All of that was your Auntie Rona came into town and shut our tour down. But we had two weeks in Berlin, France, O2 Arena in London, like all based on a record that was 20 years ago. So that's a pretty cool deal.